From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, Yellowstone County Health Officer John Felton says he has done everything he can to avoid today's decision.
It is clear that the safeguards put in place thus far haven't been enough to slow the spread of the virus in Yellowstone County.
And with that, the Yellowstone County Health Officer reinforces Governor Bullock's orders this week and even increases COVID-19 health restrictions across Yellowstone County, reducing gathering sizes, putting a stop to recreational competitions, and closing down businesses by 10 p.m. Well, a tightening down on the holidays. Tonight, there are 152 people hospitalized in Yellowstone County with COVID-19. More than 30 Yellowstone County residents in the ICU, and about 24 are on ventilators. This as the county reports 2 more deaths. So beginning tomorrow morning, November 20th at 5 a.m., the 25-person limit on gatherings is extended through the end of the year. In Yellowstone County, this applies to indoor and outdoor events, even if you can physically distance. Also, all places of assembly, including retail, venues, bars, churches, restaurants, gyms, hair salons, must move to 50% of normal capacity and must close by 10 p.m. Bars can only take orders from and serve customers who are physically seated. Non-household members must maintain 6 feet of physical distance, and only drive-through and delivery food services can continue past 10. Also, all adult and youth organized athletic teams, musical performance and performing arts groups can continue to practice, but no games, no matches, no scrimmages or public performances are permitted. Now, this does not include school academics or sports. But he says if you question the need for this order, just go to a website like COVID Act Now.
Every county in Montana is red. Every county, which means that every county is running rates of new cases per day greater than 25 per 100,000 per day. Every county in the state. As we do that, we're going to overload our systems. And then the question becomes, what do you do next? We're running out of options. We need to finally make a decision that we care enough about the people around us, our businesses, our healthcare workers, our public health workers, our schools, to do something.
Now, there are some exemptions: hospitals, pharmacies, child care facilities, overnight cleaning services. And again, it does not apply to school athletics or extracurricular activities because schools are required to have their own COVID plans. Now, Felton says he knows this order is hard on our local economy, but he says fortunately, Governor Bullock has scraped together some CARES Act money to help local businesses. Well, all across the state, Montana counties report 4 more COVID-19 related deaths today as active cases surpass 18,000. 2 of the victims here in Yellowstone County and 1 in each Missoula and Silverbow counties. At this hour, MTN reports a total of 586 COVID-19 related deaths across the state. In Wyoming, the state health department announced 21 more COVID-19 related deaths today, 9 of those coming out of Natrona County, with many of the patients being tied to an outbreak at a long-term care facility. Almost all of the deaths came in the last 30 days. That state total now at 176. Well, Thanksgiving is just a week away, but this year with the COVID pandemic raging, health officials say it may be best to put some Thanksgiving traditions aside or at least do them differently. Q2's Russ Riesinger has more on what you need to know to keep your loved ones safe.
The calendar may say Thanksgiving, but for many healthcare workers, the COVID-19 pandemic has made this coming holiday season feel more like Halloween.
I don't know, going into the holiday season is where we have the level of disease that we have is actually frightening to some of us.
As the director of patient safety and infection control at the Billings Clinic, Nancy Iverson has seen firsthand the devastation caused by the coronavirus.
It is real. It causes a viral pneumonia that is very severe.
Because of that, she says if you still are planning to gather together to celebrate, it should not be in the traditional way. She says it's best to stay within your bubble.
That small group of people that live with you, if you're all taking the same measures, that's safer, okay? When your college student comes home, that's outside of your household. It may be your family, but they're bringing their exposure and their epidemiology, if you will, into that bubble, and you're putting people at risk.
Iverson says you should also rethink sitting down at the table together for the big feast. Consider eating outside.
Now that seems crazy in Montana, but if you are going to gather people, why don't you have pick it in the best part of the day that's a little warmer, greet people. But if you're going to have it what's going to put you at risk is enclosed space without masks, the duration of your interaction. If you do need to host, put people at separate tables. Households need to be at separate tables and you need to have distance. And then if you're not eating, the mask goes back on.
Iverson says family gatherings are one of the main factors in the spread of the coronavirus and that people often have no idea that they're infectious.
That is what's different about this virus, is that for 48 hours before you get symptoms, you are actually shedding the virus and through your breath, and a prolonged exposure is what's making people sick.
She says for this year at least, maybe consider starting some new Thanksgiving traditions.
Really novel ideas of maybe you prepare a meal and drop it off at a couple homes and they enjoy in their bubble. Maybe you do something virtual. Maybe you do some cooking together so you're socializing, but you're not physically together. If you are physically together, you really need to know that's proceed with caution because it is not a safe event to do right now.
In Billings, I'm Russ Riesinger reporting for MTN News.
All right, thanks so much, Russ. Now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention also says today it recommends against traveling during the Thanksgiving period. And another note, the 30th annual Red Lodge Christmas Stroll has also been canceled this year due to the pandemic. Well, 5 Flathead County businesses have filed lawsuits against the state of Montana. This just a week after the Flathead judge denied the state's request for preliminary injunction against the businesses for allegedly violating Governor Steve Bullock's mask directive. MTN's Sean Wells tells us what the countersuit claims and what's next in the legal process.
5 businesses in Flathead County have filed countersuits against the state of Montana seeking damages, attorney fees, and a judgment by jury trial. Court documents show that complaints filed by the Department of Public Health and Human Services have allegedly resulted in damage to business reputation, lost revenue, and substantial economic damage. Sykes Diner, Your Turn Mercantile, and Last Turn Casino, Remington Bar, Ferndale Market, and Scotty's Bar are the 5 Flathead businesses suing the state. Counts filed against the state include an abuse of process and a state constitutional tort claim. Your Turn Mercantile and Last Turn Casino owner Douglas White tells MTN News the initial lawsuit filed by the state has caused significant disruption to his business and his family.
The state's actions are a serious overreach on their part, and it has resulted in a detrimental disruption of our business and our families' lives as well. It has cost us a great deal in terms of dollars and time that we would otherwise devoted to our family and to our business and to our customers.
MTN News reached out to state health officials for a response to the counterclaims filed. Montana Department of Health and Human Services spokesperson John Ebelt replied back by email saying, quote, "While we are still reviewing these claims, it is our hope that the defendants are working in good faith to protect the health of their staff and customers. As the defendants seek to expand the lawsuit, we are working to find additional healthcare workers to assist the local hospital in the Flathead because so much of its current workforce is in quarantine or isolation. Cases continue to skyrocket, hospital bed space is running low, and healthcare workers are exhausted. With rampant community spread, the situation needs to be taken seriously." When denying the state's preliminary injunction, Judge Dan Wilson said the state's presentation and arguments were not adequate as matter of law. In Kalispell, Sean Wells, MTN News.
Thanks so much, Sean. Now, a law firm out of Missoula is asking business owners and residents across Montana to join a lawsuit against the state seeking relief relative to previous and future restrictions of civil liberties and encroachments upon private medical rights. The deadline to join that lawsuit is November 26th. Wyoming Senator John Barrasso has decided to become the new chairman of the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee. Barrasso announced his intentions yesterday to succeed Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski, who is term limited. He will chair the committee in the next Congress, provided that Republicans can win at least one of the 2 outstanding Senate races in Georgia. If successful, Barrasso will have to step down as the chair of the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee in the new Congress. The Cowboy State, by the way, has been continually represented on the Senate Energy Committee since 1899. Well, the Montana Lottery has decided not to appeal a ruling from a Helena judge that said it could not require a business to have a liquor license in order to offer sport wagering. In October, District Judge Kathy Seeley ruled in favor of Arete, a Billings investment group who challenged the Lottery Commission with adding additional restrictions that were not in the original registration. While Seeley ruled in its favor, she also stated the group was not entitled to get a sports wagering license and would need to go through the application process. In announcing its decision not to appeal, the Montana Lottery also noted that you must have a legitimate business. Sports wagering cannot be the only aspect of a business. Up next on tonight's MTN 530 News on Q2, a very happy reunion as this Minnesota pup will be reunited with his family tomorrow after being lost in a Montana wilderness. We'll have that story. And in sports, the AA state title game between West and Sentinel just 1 day away. We'll hear from a couple of Spartans in just a bit.
And coming up in weather, last Tuesday was Turkey Tuesday. Today is Transitional Thursday. That means we saw some rain and snow showers today and windy conditions around the foothills. But as we head into the weekend, it'll be cooler, but drier air is expected to follow.